Matti, mamma mia. Holy sh**! Guardate ragazzi! Guardate un po'! Guardate un po' ragazzi! Sono vinto!
A severe storm hit Sicily, Italy, caused heavy rain, strong winds and widespread flooding in several cities, including Palermo and Catania. The extreme weather events, which struck without warning, turned streets into rivers, disrupted transportation and left thousands of residents without electricity and with damaged property. Local authority issued several weather warnings on the island who received rainfall significantly above the seasonal average. Videos show a dramatic scene where, posted on social media, cars submerged into water, people waist deep water in the floodwaters, and emergency service trying to reach stranded cities. Meteorologists report that the storm deployed rapidly over the Mediterranean Sea under the influence of low pressure system combined into high sea surface temperature, and a phenomenon that is becoming increasingly common due to climate change. In just a few hours, some areas received more rainfall than they normally do into entire month. Schools and government officials and affected areas were closed to precautions and civil protection until the disrupted assess the damage and assist in cleanup. In Palermo, several unprecedented were flooded rapid cars and landslides were reported in towns located on hills. Experts warned that such intense and frequent storms could become normal in southern Italy. Climatologists are urging authorities and citizens to strengthen infrastructure and emergency preparedness on the Mediterranean region continue to face the worsened effect of global warming. As Sicily begins the cleanup, the storm serves not yet another stark reminder on a growing instability of the nature and urgent need to action to ensure environmental sustainability.
Molto grosso, porta via il negozio qua, adesso porta via macchine e tutto.
Sicily, Italy's largest island, has been hit one of the strongest storms in recent times. One of the night of June 27, several weather warnings brought more than 180 mm of rainfall in just 20 hours, more than the region usually received in entire month. This was hit area where Palermo, Catania, Angindra and Messina were the hardest hit. Authority confirmed that at least 3 people died as a result of the flooding electrocutions. Among the victims was a 45-year-old man from the town of Biansuaga, who was trapped in this car where sudden flooding inundated in low light unprecedented. In Palermo, emergency service responded more than 14 calls in one night. More than 120 homes were reportedly flooded in historic districts of Calza and Balero. In the town of Aguirre and Mount Etna, landslides to the evacuation more than 17 residents, while the rescue volunteers injured several persons. Power outage affected nearly 30,000 homes. An emergency company, Aeneas, sent dozens of repair crews on the island. Rain severe between Catania and Syracuse was suspended, and yet Falcon Belen Airport. 15 flights were delayed or diverted due to heavy rain and a wind gust exceeded 19 km/h. Sicily Civil Protection Chief Fabio Cruiser warning that the increasingly unstable Mediterranean climate economy warning from climatologists who said that the sea surface temperature, now about 27 Celsius, are contributed to the formation of more tropical cyclones now at the Mediterranean. Local media including Roberto Lagola of Palermo and Etnico Tragico of Catania have requested emergency funds of support from the national government. Cleanup efforts are ongoing with more than 1,400 civil protection volunteers and firefighters involved in the cleanup debris and draining flooded areas. Environmental groups such as Ligibird and Colson Italy in the speed up infrastructure urged, especially in the southern cities prone on flooding. Experts from the University of the Palermo know that 16% of region drainage system and outdated or inundated from the today extreme weather conditions. As Sicily begin in a powerful recovery, the message is clear. Climate disasters are no longer a distant possibility. They are not happening now with the devastating consequences. Italy is grappling with a severe flooding after days of relentless rain, particularly affected with the northern regions of the country. Torrential downpour have caused rivers to swell, boost their banks and inundate towns and villages. This latest episode of flooding has left authorities struggling to cope with the growing crisis, with thousands of people evacuated from their homes. The region of Emilia-Romagna, Lombardy and Veneto have been among the hardest hit. In Emilia-Romagna, widespread damage to infrastructure have been reported, with the roads submerged, bridges washed away and homes flooded. Several rivers, including the Po, the Anvil, have reached critical levels, forcing emergency service to respond rapidly to prevent further damage. The situation has been compounded by landslides in hilly areas, blocked roads and isolated communities. In Venice, the city is too familiar to high water levels. Flood definitions will put the test. The iconic Mos barriers, designed to protect the city with the rising tides, were activated shelters to mitigate the Venice from the significant damage. However, other areas in the region were not so fortunate. Many towns and villages in Veneto region saw extensive flooding, with the residents forced to fare the high ground. The Italian government has declared a state of emergency in the several regions, mobilized rescue workers and deployed to army to aid the evacuation force. Civil protection authorities have urged people in the affected areas to remain cautious, to need official warning to forecast in coming days. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited in affected areas and presented the solidarity with the victims and pledged government support to reconstruction efforts. This is a national emergency, and we are working closely with the local authorities to ensure the safety of all residents, she said. Climate experts warn that such extreme weather events become more frequent due to climate change. Italy, with a varied geography, is particularly vulnerable in the affected changing weather patterns. The combination of heavy rainfall, property, maintained infrastructure, and urban explosion into flood-prone areas in exact pattern the impact of the recent storms.